Right, so we're going back to the leaking strap bars. That was a great success. That was terrible. We're going back to that one. So I'm back. Just cut off that piece there. Skew whiffly cut off that away from there. So I'm going to file this end down, push it back in, and then drill my strap boss. Because obviously, like I showed you yesterday, it is yesterday for me, but it's not yesterday, it's a different video for you. Yeah, we've got a new coupling and a new elbow, a new rubber, and a new strap boss. Because that hole what they'd done was miles too big and just would not seal. That's nicely filed down now. I've greased the rubber inside. So that should then push back into that socket and I can get a mark for the strap boss. I could even lift the strap boss up to here and just elbow it straight in instead of coming down with a coupling there. Probably will just do that. So when you are drilling a strap boss, you've got to be aware that this lip sits inside the soil pipe and your glue just goes around the outside here. So you need a hole saw which is as close to that as possible. You don't want it too big and you also don't want it too small, otherwise you end up messing trying to make it bigger. One end glued up, as you can see it's all squelched everywhere. Hopefully it'll not dry too white, but I wanted plenty on this. So I'm going to push my rubber in now. Shouldn't need any lubricant on this end, but it might do. Just needed 2 hands. So I'm going to put a bit of silicone grease now on that. And I've just chamfered the edge of the pipe to push inside that, which again, probably going to need 2 hands because I'm working off a ladder. It's not cut to length, but I should be able to then get a measurement from there to there and get that piece cut. Now because I've got no movement to get that on there and push that on the inside this pipe, what I'm going to do is push this pipe further into the rubber like that, glue that up roughly where it wants to be, apply glue on there and that pipe and pull it out with the grips to that mark there. That should make it work. This is why I use rubber bosses. Couldn't do that with solvent weld. So that is all done. The vent is a little bit close to the window by 5 or 6 inches, but unless they want to go and try and find a full length of brown soil and new clips because they're rusted to bugger, it'll have to do for now. Like it's a temporary fix, you know it's going to be there forever. On YouTube. So I was here the other day at this job because of this leak. The shower's on the back wall. I took the plinth off, which had been kindly nailed on with fascia, well, it is a piece of fascia board and fascia board nails, so that was hard work, and diagnosed it to be the seal had failed on the shower. I could see that already, but I tried out the shower just to prove to the customer that it was that. She was adamant she'd just sealed it, but it just hasn't adhered at all. And I found the waste was loose. I've tightened it up since, but it was like slack. It's not been siliconed in, so I siliconed that in once I'm here. As you can see on the wood staining, it's been leaking a while. And there's the fascia board. Whilst we're here, she wants us to change the shower as well. So we're just swapping it over like for like. Trying to not get the tray wet at all for siliconing, but don't forget to clean up where the old fittings have been. No doubt these holes, the new Martin bracket won't land on that. Yeah, just give everything a good clean up with a wipe. You're only as good as your last job. And some of you will have realised now I have a bit of OCD when it comes to cleaning. I wanted to use the new shrouds, but one-handedly show you this. They're actually too small, so just bear that in mind when you're swapping the shower over before you start throwing stuff in the bin. So it won't fit over the old mounting plate. I have to try and clean up this and reuse the old ones, unfortunately. So I've got the bar mixer on now, should I say. Now this is height adjustable. Just by undoing this little screw here, you can adjust the height of the fixed head. But unfortunately it doesn't alter the height of the fixing bracket. So I'm going to have to fill them 2 little screws. Screw holes, should I say, on the old one. I've got the joyous job of cutting out the silicone. Now I tend to score at the top on an angle, a 45-degree angle, and then kind of flat against the tray along the bottom. And it should just peel out like that. You might have to score it a couple of times. Just be mindful you don't slip and scratch the tray, because I've never done that, ever. Also use this Stanley scraper. I don't know what you call it. They have got a proper name, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Just to try and scrape off the excess of the bottom. There's what they've nailed the plinth on with, which is real helpful. So I'm just going to screw it back together in the previous holes and put these little caps on. They're not the best things, but they look a bit better, and it's future-proof. Then you can undo the plinth off whenever needed whilst that's drying. That's why I'm doing this now. And they're going to look something like that. Got a silicone across the bottom now whilst I'm doing the top there. So the best bit of advice I'll give anyone when it comes to siliconing is start from the corners and work in. But many of you who watch my videos will realise and know that I do not proclaim to be the best at siliconing. I am actually probably a novice still. You get better when it comes with experience, I think. I don't do a great deal of it. It's all about the angle that you cut your nozzle at, how big you cut your nozzle, and yeah, experience. And that's all done now. Looks a little bit better. Do not pause this and zoom in on my silicone and you will see that it's not perfect. It's going to have a lot of tidying up with the paintwork to do now, because I think it's been leaking for some time. So that one there, obviously a little bitty job, just wages in it, no real profit or money. And as I walked through, I seen a brand new Worcester 4000 on the wall. I know it was brand new because of the colour of the copper. It had all the toys on it, Worcester filter, high thermostat, your black clips. It looked a smart job, to be fair, and I just asked her, who did your boiler? And then she said it's another local guy. And I went, did you not ask him to do the shower? Thinking she'd come back with, yeah, but he wasn't interested. But she didn't actually ask him. Now, because she said, I presumed he only did boilers. Now this annoys me, this, because I don't do that many boilers. I tend to do jobbing jobs like this, which, okay, is not bad, but it's also not where the money is. My boiler installs are where the money is for me. Now, I can only put that down to my advertising is showing that I do jobbing jobs, or the word of mouth that gets spread is little bitty jobs rather than boiler installs. So I might have to look into that. What do you think? Do you think it's down to advertising why he's only associated with installing boilers, or what? Drop it in the comments. So this next one we're being called out to is, well, I'm actually doing another couple of other jobs, but I want to show you this because I've never seen anything like this before. It's very curious. The sink, a kitchen sink, is not holding water. I'll spin you out to show you what I'm on about. Put the plug in. It's a Belfast double bowl sink. That should do. You can hear it emptying away. You can kind of see a swirl mark there around the outside. Now I thought, right, okay, this one is holding water. That's the other side, you can hear. It's holding water, so I'll swap the plugs over, see if it is the plug. Nope, still emptying. Now, wouldn't you think that it would come out underneath here? But no, it's not. It's dry under there. So it's obviously going underneath the actual plug and back into the trap. Now that must be because either the sink's not perfectly flat, it's not got a decent fixing. I'd say it's not siliconed, judging by the fact I can move it. Might just not be tight enough, but I'll take that out and silicone it up and we'll see what happens. But I've never seen anything like that before. Well, that shouldn't be like that. And that one under there doesn't look exactly too clever either. Let's get it all dried off. People say don't silicone these, you don't need to use the washers. But this is the reason why I do, because if there's any imperfections in the ball itself, silicone will find its own way, whereas washer, it's not as durable. So that's all siliconed up now. Let's give it a try. I have to check the leaks as well underneath here when I've done it. I think that's all right now, do you? Beautiful. First time ever I've seen that in 16 years. Let me know in the comments if you've seen anything like that. I could have sworn it was going to be the actual plug itself. So we're going to be announcing the 2K giveaway winner on today's video to win this and the goodies inside. The way I'm going to do it is from the video that I asked you to comment tap on, get all the comments together and put them in a random comment generator to reveal the winner. So we're just going to enter the link in from that video and a keyword of tap, which is what I asked you all to put in. So good luck everybody. Pick a winner. So congratulations Richard Barton. Drop me an email, mate, centralheatking@gmail.com, or get in touch with me on Instagram or TikTok, whatever you've got me on, and I'll get that sent out to you. Don't worry if you haven't won this time. There's going to be more giveaways coming up as we achieve subscriber milestones. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.